Welcome to the chord pairs video. So today, move this out of the way. Today, we're going to work on the B flat major 7 chord, moving to E flat 7. Okay. So the thing that's cool about this particular pairing is that the hand shape is the same for both chords, but of course we get two different chord qualities. So B flat major 7 is this one, and E flat 7 to follow. Okay. So the thing that's cool about the chord qualities is that one's a little more sort of what we call consonant, really like lush and sounds really nice. And this one is a little more unsettled. It's got a little bit of dissonance to it. It's got a little bit of tension thrown in. So we got sort of like this resolution type of chord, very smooth sounding, and then this tension filled chord wants to go somewhere and it goes back to that chord. So that's resolution. So tension and resolution are big parts of music. And the chords that are chosen here share the same hand position in terms of the formation of the hand and where it goes. So that's a great place to start, by the way. So we can actually play around with just the left hand, moving from string to string. Everything's moving over equidistant. If you watch the left hand, we're moving everything over by one string, staying within the first 3 frets. And these are chord forms. So wherever you move this shape, you'll get the desired quality of chord. So if I go to, say, 3rd fret with the first chord, and then move across, the chord qualities are maintained in terms of pairing major 7th chord to what we call dominant 7th chords. Okay, so that's something that gives you a nice sounding chord progression, just 2 chords. The pairing sounds great, and the ease of movement is the thing, right? You can keep track of what's happening with the right hand, matching left hand, and then going to the next chord. So the right hand just follows the left hand, and we play 4 strings for each chord, and you're going to see this in a second when we go into the chord chart. Okay. The other thing that's cool about this chord pair video is that we have a backing track. We have bass guitar and drums along with the main guitar part. There's only one guitar. So it makes it a little more interesting for sort of practicing and playing. Okay. So without further ado, let's jump you into the chart. Make sure we share that. And let's get to our chart. And there she be. Okay. So chord pairs. We got our B flat chord, our E flat 7 chord. And we have on the bottom here, we have a nice swung 8th note rhythm, which we'll get into in a second. I'll describe what that's about. And the strum pattern on the bottom, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Now, there's 2 ways we can run through these chords. One, for the right hand, we can actually run through the strum pattern as written, or down, 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 down. Okay, that's probably a good place to start if you're really freaking out by the strum pattern here. You can keep it all in one direction rather than changing direction, alternating the right hand. So that's something of an option. We'll go through that in just a bit. Now, the spelling of the chords. Here we are. We got a B flat, we got a D, we got an F and an A. That's the spelling of the chord from bottom to top. And you can see we have those 3, in this case, 4 letters, because it's the 7th chord. We have it worked out in a certain collective to make the shape of the chord quality we're looking for. So that's the hand shape that we're going to move. That arrangement of notes gives us that kind of chord. Over a period of time, we'll explain how that comes to be. But for now, we're concerned about where the left hand is going and which strings we take out with the right hand. Anything with an X over the diagram, we avoid those strings with the right hand. So you're matching right hand to your left hand, 4 strings in total for the right hand to play. And E flat 7, which is the dominant 7th chord, E flat, G, B flat, D flat is the spelling of an E flat 7 chord. Don't worry about the names of the notes right off the bat, but if you happen to be up on the names of the notes on the neck, and you know where the letters are for the music alphabet on your neck, and I have a series called The Music Alphabet on Guitar, which helps you identify where natural notes are, sharp notes, flat notes. There's a whole series of those videos here on the channel. So you can always frequent that particular part of the channel and learn where the letters go. So There they are. So, but the hand shape is identical, long story long, to the B flat major 7. We're using the same hand shape, but now we're leaving out the low E bottom string and the A string. We're skipping those two with the X's, right? Right hand plays the top 4 strings, strings 4, 3, 2, and 1, the D, G, B, and E strings. Okay, so we're just literally moving from strings 5, 4, 3, and 2 over to the top 4 strings. So that chord is probably a little bit easier because we're just leaving the 2 bottom strings out and playing the remaining 4 strings. So again, each chord has its thing. One might feel more difficult than the other. So take it as you can, and we'll get out of that. So I'll make this a little bigger so you can see the fingering on the bottom. Let's see, let's go to 200. So you can see the fingering 1, 3, 2, 4 underneath. You know, that's kind of small as well. Let's blow it up even further. Bam, much better. Okay, so 1, 3, 2, and 4. 1, 3, 2, and 4. Fingering is the same for both chords. Again, what's different is the strings we play on and the strings we skip with the right hand. Okay, and of course the names of the chords and the quality that you get. Okay, now since it's really still pretty big here, as you can see, we're playing this 8th note triplet. So we're playing 3 8th notes in a time of 2. That's kind of what this is signifying. And there's only 2 8th notes, but the 8th notes aren't split evenly. They're swung. That's what the idea of the triplet is. We have 1 and 2, and for a straight 8th note feel, but this particular tune uses this triplet idea. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we technically still have 2 8th notes, but they're not evenly spaced. There's a bit of a swing to them, all right? It's not so metronomic, I should say. It's got more of a relaxed feel, okay? Just think of a horse walking down the street with the hoofs. Go, 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 go. That's where the triplet rhythm feel comes from. They call it a shuffle, okay? So that's kind of what the feel of the tune is. Kind of almost bluesy, basically. It's got a blues feel to it. And let's go back down a little bit and look at the full score. Drum part, I stuck in the middle. Bass part on the bottom here. So straight on quarter notes for the bass part. And that's got a little more of melodic feel to it. You know, it's got some more movement in contrast to the guitar part. So the guitar part's very straight. We play B flat major 7 for 2 bars, as you can see, E flat major 7 for 2 bars. So each chord gets 2 measures, and that just continues right on through. You can see goes into the second page. Full scores tend to take up more pages, so that's the deal. The drum part, if you happen to play drums, it's unchanging. Sorry, I'm scrolling like crazy. You're probably getting vertigo looking at this. The drum part is consistent all the way through. There's no drum fills of any sort. It's just straight on beat, straight timekeeping. That's it. Okay. So you'll hear all of this in just a moment when I get back to the beginning here. Excuse me. So let's hear it back and see what it sounds like. And it's going to go through twice. So let's hear it. 2, 3, 4. you go. That's the whole entire chart for you right there. Okay, so really nice pairing of chords, nice and mellow and tempo. You can see it's at 50. So that's the speed that we're at here. So if that feels too slow, by all means, grab a metronome and set it to a higher number. Always good to start these new things off. Anything that's brand new, always good to start at a slow tempo. And with the playback settings on the video here on YouTube, you can actually change the playback speed as well. So go into the little settings, that little wheel icon, and you could change the playback speed. Okay, so you have a lot of options, or you can slow it down. So there's lots of good things you can play with. The other part I wanted to mention is on the and of 4 here, or the of 4, excuse me, because it's 1, 2, 3, 4. In this measure right here for right in there, we have all the fretted notes. This is a moment in here to create a lift. Your left hand is going to lift off the chord. The right hand is going to do the strum, whether it's down, up, or down, down. You want to lift your left hand off. The right hand is going to play open strings at that point, and then you land into your next chord here. Okay, so excuse me. So that's something to keep in mind to create smoothness between chord changes. The idea behind that is to lift the hand off of the chord. Whoops, get out of here. You can lift off your chord, and that creates a nice transition between your B flat major 7 and the E flat 7. So think of that as you go through. I'm going to do a demonstration in just a second. Excuse me. So what I'm discussing here is the lifting part, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, lift. So that lifting part, literally you're lifting your left hand off of the first chord and moving to the next chord, whichever chord comes first. That's the idea, and where you want to lift with your left hand to create the smooth transition. Okay, when you play it fast, it's barely noticeable. So I'm going to play it a little faster. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so when you play at faster speeds, when you play it at faster speeds, that lifting, that open string sound is barely detectable. I play it really fast. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's something that you want to start at the slow speeds to get that lift and that open string sound. It's going to sound kind of weird and odd at slow tempos, but trust me, when you get to the faster speeds, you're barely going to notice it. Okay, and it looks smooth when you when you transition from one chord to the next. It's a smooth appearance, and it feels smooth. And the right hand's more compact. The left hand is moving at a much shallower height. You know, really lifting off, like really, you know, leaving the strings. So say if I turn my guitar this way, it's kind of hard to see it, but when you go into, I'll do it this way actually. If you go into your chord changes and you're lifting off at slow speeds, the height from the strings for the left hand is much greater than at faster tempos. Okay, so that's the idea with the attainment of getting smooth transitions from chord to chord, is where you lift off your chord. So the in this case, in this rhythm, is where you want to lift your hand, keep the right hand moving, whether it's all down or it alternates. Keep everything moving on the right hand. The left hand is the movement part that's going on. Okay, so hopefully that point makes it a little bit easier to think about when you're going through the chart, being there's only 2 chords. Okay, and it'll work the same way if you have more than 2 chords. Okay, and I did a video also on a G blues where I touch on that point as well with a different collection of chords. So I'll include that video at the end here. Okay, so there you go. that's the lesson today on chord pairs using the B flat major 7 and the E flat 7 chord. So if you like the video, feel free to like and subscribe, and hope this helps you out. And I will see you on the next video. Thanks so much for coming by. And like I said, like and subscribe. I'm here to help. Hope you join up. Take care.